days pass and the weeks go by. Dream for hours about the future. See the faces and the names go by. Between now and then, between now and then, these days.
Songwriting. That's the best part of the whole deal, honestly. That's the most spiritual part. I mean, there are moments when you're on stage when you connect with an audience that are pretty magical. But when you write a song and you feel like you've channeled some greater thing, that's the best thing that's come from this whole experience for me. It's the most, I'm searching for words. It's spiritual is a good thing, you know, you feel, I've heard other songwriters say that, you know, it feels like when you write a really good song that the song has already existed somewhere and you just sort of put the antenna up and channeled it and were the sort of the medium through which it got to earth, which I feel like from time to time. When I write a good song, because they come so fast and so naturally, that you think, man, this came from somewhere that I didn't even have to think about. You're just kind of channeling. That's awesome. I get a little glow in my eye when I talk about that stuff.
And I'm gonna waste all of my time tonight, and I'm gonna get on with the rest of my life.
I think you have to write a lot. You have to write 10 songs to get one good one. You have to write 100 songs to get a really good one. You have to write 1,000 songs to get maybe a great one. You have to write maybe more than that to get one that'll last for the next 100 years, which is ultimately, I think, what an artist is trying to do. You know, you're leaving something behind. You're leaving a piece of you that will live on past you. Ultimately, that's why I do it. It's fun here while we're on Earth, but man, wouldn't it be cool if, you know, long after I'm gone, people are singing Born Too Late somewhere in a bar.
Songwriting is not a 9-to-5 job. Songwriting has evolved for me into a 24-hour-a-day thing, especially when we're traveling and I'm driving in the van and you just get bored to death. And I'll sit there with my cell phone and turn on the voice memo and start humming things into the voice memo to get the hook lines or whatever. I wrote a couple of songs that way. I don't remember which ones they were at this point, but they come from all different directions. But I really enjoy sitting in the house, just hanging out with the dogs, let the sun shine in, and start writing tunes.
You ever had to walk a single mile in my shoes? Not saying that you ever really wanted to. We could never go back to another time, but there's photographs painted in my mind.
Writing songs with the band is a strange process because it never follows one set formula. You know, somebody might come in with an idea and say, okay, and Greg is really good for this. He'll come in with a drum beat already, and I'll doctor it up a little bit, or I won't. Sometimes I just leave it the way, you know, he'll bring me in an acid loop with a kick drum pattern already, and we'll talk about it, and if I like it and he likes it, or he, you know, we'll go with that. If he's unsure about it, then maybe we'll pound out some other ideas. Scott will bring a song in, and he plays so rhythmically anyways that for me, when I hear him play something, it's like the drum part's already written. It's like okay, this is what it is, and you know, maybe a slight variation from that, but it's pretty much done. And Rob is real meticulous about everything he does. You know, he has little tags and all this worked out before the groundwork is done, you know. But he's just an intense person that way. He hears it in his head, and that's the way he wants it, which is cool. So I think each one of us has a different approach to songwriting, and because each person is individual in their songwriting approach, when it gets fleshed out as a band, you have to treat each member of the band's song differently.
I had for weeks been showing up at soundcheck and getting up to the microphone and doing this thing where I was going, finish it.
You're sultry, dirty, soft and hard. You are close to me and you're so far.
I had sort of this task of coming up with the lyrics and brought in lyrics, and Greg also and I at the time were roommates while we were recording the record in Nashville. We'd contributed lyrics and handed them off to Scott in the studio, and Justin said, nah, it's just not happening, dude, sorry. And which at the time may have been a little bit of a blow to the ego, but you learn by these things, and Scott said, hey man, we're going home for Thanksgiving break. Give me those sets of lyrics. I'm gonna take a track home, see what I can come up with. We came back from Thanksgiving break, and I remember distinctly it was Scott, Justin, and I in the studio, and I was really nervous about this. Was this really gonna turn things around? Did Scott get it? And then, first line of the song, Justin and I looked at each other and just like the phrasing, the lyric, we just looked at each other and like almost fell off our stools. We were just like high-fiving each other like, this is it. And from what I recall, Scott pretty much got that performance in one take.
I've always wanted to write a song that I make up my own word. What is Shimmy Low? I don't know what that is, but it sounds pretty happy. It sounds like something you want to do, and people get into that. And I think they like in the songwriting process when you make up your own vocabulary of things and can sort of share it. That's my gift to the audience, and the audience sort of has their little thing that they take with them that nobody really knows what it is, but you can sort of interpret.
I've been down this road 10 times. I would run, I would hide from the fears that ruled my mind. And so I asked this guy, we'll call him Oz, we'll call him wise. He laughed and offered this advice: get out of your black hole, join Life's Circus sideshow. You got to shimmy, shimmy low, got to free my soul. Wanna walk on water, gonna lose control. Shimmy, shimmy low, got to free my soul. Wanna walk on water, gonna lose control. Vincent, will you teach me how to paint? Teresa, will I ever?
One of my best moments, I think, as a songwriter, which is really interesting because I was sitting in my house one night and I was really bummed out. I forget what, I was probably going through a breakup or something, and I was watching this documentary on Jimi Hendrix and how brilliant and what he was just a genius. I was so inspired. It just knocked me out of that whole depression thing, and I picked up my guitar and I wrote Born Too Late, and it took 10 minutes, 15 minutes, again, a situation where I didn't even have to think about it. It just came out. Like pieces to a puzzle just kind of all going together at the same time.
Jimmy, show me how you play that thing. And Elvis, will I ever be a king? And Jerry, all the joy and love you bring. I was born to sing. If you're gonna jump, hey you.
There's a song that Scott wrote on 9/11 called Hey You. And that song really had quite an impact on me. We had been in the process of writing music for a record called Another Happy Ending.
So we got a little spot in the second verse. We'll go to that.
September 11th, the day went by and it was nighttime, and I was just tired of watching television all day, and I was just naturally reached for my guitar, but I had no intention of writing a song about how it impacted me or the day's events or what have you.
I just didn't know where to put all of my emotions about that, and it's still really, it's a tough one to dig up. But later that day, after watching all this stuff, apparently Scott had the same feelings, went upstairs, sat down, and picked up a guitar, and the song just came out of him.
I don't even know where it came from, and I didn't think about it, and 10 minutes later I had pretty much a whole song.
I won't forget today. Sun is bright, sky is blue, yeah. Pain will go